Hey, what's cooking, Jay?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Gunther's Kitchen. Today we're making Nusskipferl. We're making the original croissants. They're filled with some nuts, like a nut paste. The nut paste is made with cinnamon, honey, a little bit of milk. And the croissants are nice, soft, buttery, absolutely delicious, like a brioche. Alright, so the ingredients you will require is some plain flour, butter, yeast, sugar, milk, a couple of egg yolks really, and that's about it. Now the important part on that yeast, that brioche style, is that you need to refrigerate it after we have mixed it. That's the main thing. There's a lot of butter in it. So like the croissant, very buttery, as you probably saw in one of my previous videos. The croissants have been exported from Austria to France. An Austrian pastry chef or baker settled in France and he brought the croissants with him. So that's the story. All right, let's start. Okay, so take our warm milk, put the sugar in. Measurements as always in the descriptions. Just check it out. Our yeast into the warm milk, and we just dissolve the yeast, let it activate until it gets frothy, and then we put everything together. Okay, so the yeast has been sitting for about 10 minutes. It's all bubbly, so beautiful. So now we put everything else in. We put our flour, plain flour, and we put a pinch of salt. I forgot to mention the salt before. Just a pinch of salt. I use sea salt. And then we put our couple of egg yolks. Put our butter, soft butter, and our sugar, milk, and yeast mix. Everything in the bowl, into the machine, and we let it run on slow until everything is incorporated, and then we speed it up. Okay, so most of the flour has sort of been mixed in, so now we can turn it up a bit. Okay, so now the dough is all nicely coming together, so now we can take it out of the bowl. Okay, so the dough is really nice and silky. So now let's just take it out. We put it back into the bowl. So I'm going to cover this with some cling film and I let it sit to rest for about 10 minutes and then it goes for half an hour in the fridge. Alright, so while we're waiting for the yeast to rest in the fridge, we make the filling. I've got a cupful of hazelnuts. We use some cinnamon, some vanilla, a bit of honey, a shot of rum, and then we make it all wet with some milk. Alright, so let's just grind up the hazelnuts first. You can have it, of course you can now choose how fine you like those. Yeah, that'll do. It's not fine, but I still have a little bit of texture to it, a little bit of crunch. Alright, then we put in about a teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, needs quite a bit of cinnamon. The filling is only like a teaspoon for each of the kipferl. So the flavor has to be strong, otherwise it just doesn't taste after anything. Then we put in a squeeze of vanilla, always like about 2 grams, a shot of rum. It's up to you, you don't need to have rum if you don't like alcohol. Then about 2 tablespoons worth of honey. That's the only sweetness you've got. So about 2 tablespoons worth of honey. That's it. And we're gonna mix it all through and add about a half a cup of milk. But the milk is really, it depends on the nuts. It's supposed to be a thick, runny liquid. Not too runny, because when it's runny now and you let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, the nuts will absorb all the liquid. So this is just perfect. Look at it, it's a little bit runny, but when it sits, the nuts gonna dry out the liquid. And that's it. Very easy. Now you've got the option, of course, you can use hazelnut, you can use walnut or only almond if my son is allergic to walnuts. So it's up to you. Also, if you like, you can roast your nuts first. It's all to individual taste. All right? And now we just wait for another 10-15 minutes until the dough is ready to roll out. Okay, so the dough is nice and cold, otherwise the butter is gonna make it all too runny. Okay, so let's take it out. Got some trays ready with paper on it. That's where we're gonna put the little kipferl croissants. So now we weigh this out to about 80 grams. Perfect. Okay, so we got 12 rolls out of it. Now we're just shaping it like we did with our bread rolls. So just making it all like this, nice and round. Put it here. Okay, we'll do all the same. Pull in the sides, put it on here, and with it like a claw, let it run. Let it run. And then nice and round underneath like this. So now we're rolling it out. So as always, we need some flour. Dust the workbench. So we like to roll it out the length. And with any dough, just roll it out a little first and then let it rest and roll it again. What you like to have is fairly long, and at the end we're going to pull it apart like this, and then we fold it over with the filling, and then we just pull it. Okay, so we roll off all of them. So now I give it another little roll over, up, and then 2 sidewards, and then we get nice sort of triangles out of it. Makes it much easier to roll up into a nice kipferl or croissant shape. Okay, so we're stretching the end sidewards and the front up. Yeah, just stretch it up a bit, make it a bit the tip bit, and then 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of filling. A bit more. Yeah, done. Then we're folding it over. Fold it all over and squash it down. Yeah, squash it in, and then you roll it, and then you roll it. Just make sure there is no flour on here, then it will stick all together. And then done. I prefer to make them a little bit thicker and they have enough filling in it, because really the filling is what we like most. A little tip: if your filling is too wet, and here look at this, perfect filling, it has all absorbed. Now if your filling is too wet, add a little bit of breadcrumbs and it will absorb the rest or the excess moisture. Yeah. Okay, so they have risen beautifully. So now we just put some egg wash on them. You can put some sugar on them, some coarse sugar, and or you can put some almonds on it if you like, or some hazelnut coarse ones. or you can put some cinnamon sugar on. Maybe put a bit of cinnamon sugar on a few of those. Let's put cinnamon sugar on 3 of them, just 3, so they're a bit different. And now we put them in the oven for about 18-20 minutes on 170. All right? Feinforst. Okay, so the time is up. It's 19 minutes, and let's take them out. Look at those, beautiful color, nice shape, and they're very soft. Again, so what we do, we put them on our rack, and we let them cool down. And when they have cooled down, then we'll try them. Okay, the kipferl have, or you know, the Austrian croissants have cooled down. So now let's try them. Which one should we try? The one with the cinnamon sugar. Okay, so let's cut them in half. Oh, look at that. Look at that. How perfect is that? Lots of filling, and nice, well cooked, like a brioche dough. I'm salivating. And now, so. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. As always, if you like to know how to do those things, look at our description for the recipe. And like, subscribe, follow us, keep the bell on for notifications. Because every Wednesday we have got something cooked from the stove for dinners, and every Saturday we bake. And on Mondays, we have got a short TikTok for something quick and easy. All right? So see you soon at Gunther's Kitchen on YouTube. Bye for now.